it takes 3 to win the tournament today as you are enjoying Championship Sunday baseball. Chris Allard with the call. Your umpire today behind the plate will be Will. He'll manage the game for the club. On the infield working with himself, his partner Chris, and behind the scenes with Perfect Game, the director Ethan, managing things with scoring and keeping everything in check. Your head coach Richard from the West Coast Blackdogs, and Carlos Avila, the head coach of the ZT14U Prospects national team. We are ready to play some baseball here. Championship Sunday. We're ready to roll. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, as we get ready to go here this afternoon, we welcome you. It's just pushing towards the 3:30 p.m. hour here on the West Coast in Southern California. We've had some unusual weather through the weekend. We had some rain yesterday and, of course, high clouds today. Good temperatures to play ball. And on the defensive side for your home team, the ZT Prospects, on the hill, the left-hander Mason Moeller. He'll take care of business out there for the club. Behind the plate, catching Nateo Monster Victorio over on the first base side. Daniel D. Badar, he'll manage things over there, over in the second base position. Jordan Leon in the 5 spot in third base, Easton O'Quinn. Your shortstop this afternoon, Brandon Manavong. Over on the left field side, Charlie Blaylock. Center field, Tristan Brown, playing with the club this weekend here in California. And rounding things out on the right side, the East Coaster, Brody Taylor. We're ready to go. Your umpires, as I mentioned, he'll manage the game behind the plate, and working with his partner Chris and Ethan with perfect game, keeping things moving along. On the offensive side for the West Coast Blackdogs, to lead things off, Jaden, the leadoff hitter for the club. And we will be ready to go here as Will gets ready. He'll put it in play, and it's game time here. And Jaden looks at ball one. The count is 1-0. And fastball up. The count goes to 2-0. Moeller had some short work yesterday, basically 1 inning. And starting here this afternoon. And the adjustment made. Moeller comes in there with a fastball, locates inside, and the count is 2-1. And swing and a miss. A good cut on the outside part of the plate, though. It gets through as Gallegos takes a cut, and Moeller evens things up. It's 2-2. High fly ball, deep center field, going back, Tristan Brown, and that ball is gone. So Gallegos on the fastball goes deep and clears the yard. Tristan Brown was chasing it down, and a no play there. So the leadoff hitter goes deep, and stepping in, the 2-hitter, Zach. As the Blackdogs put up the first run here. And a good slider there Gets the strike called at the plate. The count is 0-1. So a 1-1 count. And a swing there. Esparza takes a cut, and the count is 1-2. And a good effort for Manavong as the ball gets through. And Esparza gets on with a single. Stepping in the batter, Lee. And a ball out for Mueller. The count is 1-0. Throw over to the first base side. Bedard puts the tag on, and Esparza gets back in time. And a strike called. Mueller will even things up. The count goes to 1-1. And swing and a miss. Lee takes a cut. Mueller runs it outside, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes to the batter, Lee. Lee hits in the 3 spot. And Esparza over on the first base side as Bedard holds him on. A modest lead on the first base side. An extra there. A long hold for Mueller. Runner on the move. And in and out of the glove of Victorio. And a stolen base. So not sure about the sequence of call there, and Victorio took a look as if the call got crossed up there, and a stolen bag for Esparza. He ends up at second. So a 2-2 count to Lee with Esparza over at second. Mueller a long look. Manavong ranges up and rolls off. Ball's upstairs. The count goes full to 3-2. So Lee steps in with a full count. Lots of shuffling at second. Pitch on the way. And ball 4. So Mueller will put Lee on with a walk, and runners at first and second. Stepping in, Uriah. And Mueller upstairs, and the count is 1-0. And Victoria wants to have a conversation, and they're going to bring the infield in. Coach Carlos Avila to the mound as the West Coast Blackdogs have put one over on the long ball from Jaden, their leadoff hitter. They've got runners at first and second. Stay with us. We'll be right back. So Coach Carlos gets with his guys, and Ruiz will step back in, ready to go. The count's 1-0, and we're here in the top of the first frame. Will puts it in play. Moeller ready to deal. And strike, gets the outer third of the plate called, and the count goes even to 1-1. And Moeller, throw back down and right on the helmet. And everybody's going to move up 90 feet. And they're going to shut down everybody at second and third there on a throw that right off the helmet. And runners at first and second. And the count is 2-1, says Will, our head umpire. And a ball up for Moeller, and the count goes to 3-1. And Moeller comes through with a fastball. And the count goes full at 3-2. Well, Moeller and the prospects here looking for an out. And strike three called, so Moeller makes the adjustment. He'll get the K. And Moeller will record the strikeout as Ruiz will have a seat. And Pacheco will step in. With a 5-hitter, Pacheco here in the lineup with one out. And a ball's cut straight back and foul. No play there, and Moeller works ahead at 0-1. Mason, a tall pitcher, tall young man, and these smaller mounds, these guys are striding right off, and sometimes it can throw you off a little bit. He seems to be adjusting well. The 0-1 pitch. And everybody stays put. Esparza was thinking about coming in, but no movement there. The count goes to 1-1. Time is called, granted at the plate. Pacheco will step out. And a good pitch there, curveball, good movement. And the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. As Nate steps back in. Lee at second, Esparza over on third. And swing and a miss at the plate. They'll have to clear it. They do it. They're trying to maybe possibly run from third, but on the drop 3, it's a short distance, but long from the third base side for Esparza to come in. And they pick up their second out. So Victoria to Bedar and 2 down. And the batter, Vinny, will step in. ball out. The count is 1-0. So Moeller just settling in here. If you're just joining us, top of the first frame, 1-0. West Coast Blackdogs getting on first with 2 outs here for the Prospects. And fastball out. So Moeller, typically with very good command, just trying to get himself settled in here.
Get into it, let's go.
And Mason makes the adjustment there, and a cut at the plate for Vinny, and the count is 2-1. So Camarillo steps back in. And a ball cut foul. That'll be out of play. No room there. Bedar makes a move, but that's outside of the park area. And Moeller ties it up here at a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Well, Mason working from the stretch. Runners at first and second, and Leon Esparza. The 2-2 pitch. Upstairs, missing, and the count goes full at 3-2. And a cut there at the plate, fouled straight back. And the 3-2 count holds here at the plate.
Go, Vinny, you're on it.
And Moeller misses there, way outside, and ball 4. So Mason has put 2 guys on with walks, and stepping in the batter, Burns.
Go, Burnsy.
So they're going to run for Camarillo. Vinny will have a seat. And Burns in the box, ready to go. Janko over at first. Ball's popped up and out of play. And Moeller again having difficulty. His arm slot, as you see it, is releasing the ball way outside on the left-hand side of the box.
Got it, Mace.
And Moeller, the 1-1 count here.
Go, Burnsy.
And the adjustment's made. High fly ball. Should be a routine play. Manavong will get underneath it. They'll pull it in. They'll strand 3, but they pick up 1 as Jaden goes deep. But the Prospects will get on the offensive side. Stay with us. It's a good one. We'll be right back. Well, back to live action. We're ready to go here to start things off as Muller and the prospects get out of that one. And we're ready to go here starting things off. Jordan Leon. So Leon ready to go here, and we'll get you on the ball is low. The count goes to 1-1. And a strike outside, and Leon lays off. The count is 1-2 as Jordan steps back in. And a ball low there, and the count goes even to 2-2. So Leon disciplined at the plate with a 2-2 count. And swing and a miss outside there on a breaking ball, and Leon will bring up Monster Victorio. Nateo will step in. And one out here in the bottom of the first frame. Prospects just looking to even things up here in the bottom frame. And a ball low, the count is 1-0. Monster, as I mentioned in the past, a versatile player for the club. Catching, plays the outfield, can play inside and the interior. And a ball low and in. The count's 2-0 to Victorio. On deck, Easton O'Quinn for the prospects. Comfortable temperatures here this afternoon as we're pushing towards the 4 p.m. hour here on the West Coast. It's been a cloudy weekend, a little moisture yesterday, but great baseball conditions, no wind. And in tight there, Victorio's got to jump out of the box, and the count's 3-0. So Nateo steps back in with a 3-0 count. And ball 4. So Victorio, a 4-pitch walk administered from Camarillo. And Victorio will end up at first base, and that'll bring up Easton O'Quinn. Coach Sam down on the first base side for the prospects, and the skipper Carlos Avila down on the third base side as communicating with his batter Easton O'Quinn. Walters will run for the catcher Victorio. And a ball out, the count goes to 1-0. And a ball up and a 2-0 count to Easton O'Quinn, the 3-hitter for the prospects. And Walters with a modest lead off on the first base side as Camarillo works from the stretch. And a good stop behind the plate, a good stop there, and the count is 3-0. So Malik keeps it out front. And a ball out, ball 4. So Easton O'Quinn gets a walk. And he's on board 90 feet to first base, and that will bring up Blake Barbarena. So a little infield discussion. Stay with us. Things getting interesting here in the bottom of the first frame. Now we're ready to go. Barberena steps in, runners at first and second. And a ball low and in, and the count is 1-0. Blake looking to get something going for his club with one out here. And a ball upstairs. The count goes to 2-0. Barberena, high fly ball. Center fielder's going to get under it. And we'll pull in the grab. No movement off of the bases. So Barberena with a high flyer to center. And 2 outs on the books. So Brody Taylor will step in with runners at first and second, and prospects trying to manufacture and cash in a run here. Early on here, bottom of the first frame, if you're joining us, it's 1-0 the Blackdogs, and opportunity for the prospect. Shortstop in tight and pitch on the way. Hit by pitch there. Brody Taylor will get on board. So the bases are juiced for Jimmy Stout. So Stout will step in with Taylor, O'Quinn, and Walters. 1, 2, 3. Walters running over on third. Jimmy Stout, right side, cuts it foul and out of play. And the count goes to 0-1. So an 0-1 count to Stout, looking for something here with the bases loaded. And laying off there, Stout thinking about it, and the count goes to 1-1. And a ball out, curveball outside, and the count goes to 2-1. So Stout being patient at the plate here and just looking for something to get a knock with runners in scoring position here in the bottom of the first. And a strike outside. Stout thought it was a ball, and Camarillo will even the count here at 2-2 and a visit out to the mound, and we'll see what the conversation's about. Stay with us. It's interesting here in the bottom of the first frame. Well, back to live action here. A 2-2 count, bases loaded. Prospects trying to cash in on this opportunity. And we're ready to go here as our umpire Will puts it in play. Stout left side, and a gather there. The throw is off the bases, and here comes one in Walters, and O'Quinn with good speed will come over And like that, Brody Taylor at third. So a broken play there looked like a guaranteed out on the shortstop side, but not able to keep the first baseman on the bag and pulled off. So runners at the corners, and the prospects will move ahead. It's 2-1, and Charlie Blaylock will step in.
Come on, Charlie.
And a big cut at the plate there. Camarillo runs it through, and they'll work ahead. The count is 0-1. With 2 outs, an opportunity with Taylor at third. Back to the pitcher, in and out, and a hard hit there, and Camarillo, hopefully he's okay there. That was kind of up and into his glove quickly. He looks good. And you hate to see the comebackers like that, but he's all right. They'll give him a minute. And on board with Charlie Blaylock will bring the run over from third.
Let's go, D.
So the prospects pick up 3 here. Stouts at second, and Blaylock over on the first base side will bring up Daniel Badar. So D steps in with 2 outs in the bottom of the first frame. Vinny working from the stretch. And D takes a look at a strike. The count is 0-1. Badar steps back in, locked and loaded. Camarillo from the stretch. D calls time, granted at the plate. He'll step out and reload. Time called again. D steps back out. Vinny will step off, and everyone will reset here. Camarillo takes a look at second and Stout. Nothing there. And a ball is low. A good stop behind the dish.
Got it, D.
And the count goes to 2-1 on Badar. And strike called there as D took a look, and the count gets even at 2-2 with 2 outs. And Badar just looking for a knock with the 2-2 count. Shortstop in tight on Jimmy Stout at second. And strike 3 call. Badar caught looking, and they'll leave 2 on the bags, but they'll pick up 3. We'll head to the top of the second. The prospects, they'll move ahead 3-1. Chris Allard with the call. We'll be right back. Well, as we get ready to go here in the top of the second frame, prospects were able to reel things back in. And when Mason Moeller stays on the hill behind the plate, as I mentioned, Victorio Bedar over on the first base side. Second base position this afternoon. Was scheduled showing here Jordan Leon, but it looks like they shuffled the deck a little bit here. I think Barberena. Looks like Jordan's down on the third base side. And I'll let you know in just a moment here the rest of the set.
Go, B.
Playlock at second, Barberena in short.
Early,
You got
let's go.
left field Manavong, Tristan Brown in center, rounding out Brody Taylor. That's the defensive side. So we're ready to go here. The top of the second, Championship Sunday. Moeller lets that go, and the count is 1-0. The Blackdogs will go 8, 9, 10 here, with DeLeo leading things off here in the 8 spot. And a ball low, 2-0. So Moeller again struggling a little bit with his command here, which again, as I mentioned, is really uncanny for him. Typically he's very solid locating his pitches here. The 2-0 pitch goes upstairs with a fastball that counts 3-0. And Moeller makes the adjustment as DeLeo lays off.
Let's go.
And the count is 3-1. And a big cut at the plate. DeLeo takes a good swing there, and Moeller runs it through, and we'll go to a full count here. And Moeller, ball 4, so Moeller will put DeLeo on, and that'll bring up Liam. So Victorio wants a quick word with Moeller just to settle him down here, as he's put a couple men on thus far in 2 frames as Mendez gets ready to step in.
Go, B.
Well, Moeller will work from the stretch. DeLeo over on the first base side, Bedar holding him on. Direct line of sight for Moeller over onto first base. Blaylock, slow roller. They're going to have to just get the runner going down the line, so Mendez will be out. They couldn't turn 2 there as on a slow roller, but they get Mendez in 1 out.
Go, Barber.
So DeLeo moves over. DeLeo over at second. Barberena shuffling in and out of his pocket. He ranges up, and a strike called on the outside. And the count is 0-1. So Moeller, again, and Barberena shuffling, he'll range up, pitch on the way. Ball's fouled straight back as Gonzalez, Devin takes a cut, and the count is 0-2. So 2 outs for Moeller and the prospects. DeLeo over at second. Time is called. Gonzalez will step out.
Go, Devin.
And swing and a miss there. Moeller dials one in and was able to get the K at the plate. They'll leave one on the bases, and you're enjoying the 2025 perfect game. Cinco de Mayo Championship here this Sunday. Chris Fowler with the call. We'll be right back. So a throw down to second, and we're ready to get things started here in the bottom of the second frame. Leading things off, Brandon Manavong. And Vinny Camaril will step in. And a ball low. The count is 1-0. And a ball, high flyer, could stay in fair territory, and it goes foul. So a high fly ball as the defense was on the move, but no play in foul territory, and Manavong will come back. So a 1-1 count to Brandon Manavong. On deck for the prospects, Tristan Brown. And in tight there, and tag, so Manavong, as our head umpire, Will makes the call, and Manavong will move up 90 feet on board with hit by pitch, and Tristan Brown will step in. No outs, bottom of the second.
Nice big, Devin.
So Gonzalez over at first base, holding Manavong on. Manavong, modest lead, taking a provisional there. Vinny ready to deal, pitch on the way. Bunt shown and pulled back is Brown, and outside call. The count is 1-0. Oh, Vinny working from the stretch. Again, these pitchers taller with longer strides. You can see Vinny's foot is already closely off the rubber once he strides out. Pitch on the way. Ball is up and out. The count's 2-0. I think they'll be making some adjustments with some of the mounds here as they continue to build out the ZT Parks and putting together some great stuff here as the ZT Baseball organization putting back into the community here in Fullerton. A great location and pretty exciting. Pitch on the way. Runner goes. Good throw. High throw down. The tag is on and in time. So a good gun coming out of the pop quickly as Mendez Liam fires down to second, but Manavong with a good jump moves up 90 feet. So Vinny gets the strike call at the plate, and Tristan reloads here, and an opportunity, the runner at second. And a ball shallow, could drop in, and it does. And Manavong wisely checks back up as he thought perhaps the ball was going to be pulled in from center, but it drops in front of the center fielder. And if he would have moved on to third, they probably would have hosed him down at third as the ball was pulled in very quickly. So Tristan Brown's on board, and Jordan Leon will step in back to the top of the order as Carlos Avila takes a look at his man as he steps in, gives him the signal, and Vinny and the Blackdogs looking for an out. And the ball is low. The count is 1-0.
Thanks for coming by.
And Vinny goes out. The count's 2-0. And Vinny makes the adjustment and gets the outer third called for the strike. Leon takes a look, and the count is 2-1. And takes a cut. Vinny gets Leon to go chase him in the low part of the zone, and the count goes to 2-2 on Leon. Jordan steps back in, runners at first and second. 3-1 affair, prospects moving ahead in the bottom of the first frame. And Vinny steps off, he'll reset. And the ball gets away, and everybody will move up 90 feet. Tristan over to second, and Manavong over to third on the pass ball there. And the count will go full to 3-2. And ball four. So Jordan Leon will find himself 90 feet down to first on a walk, and that'll bring up the two-hitter, Nateo Victorio. Victorio right side, deep off the barrel, and to the fence line. And Nateo on his way to second base. They'll cut it in, and Victorio's in with a double. So a hard hit ball right off the top of the fence line in right center. Victoria will end up with a double and a two-run RBI. So runs 4 and 5 on Victorio's bat. And Jordan Leon is parked at third, and Easton O'Quinn will step in. They'll run for Nateo. Walters, Cameron over on second base. And O'Quinn will step in. And Vinny locates. He'll work ahead in the count on O'Quinn. The count is 0-1. And O'Quinn sends that one deep to the parking lot. Ooh. And all those cars got away with it. And the count goes to 0-2. And O'Quinn here trying to keep himself alive here with an 0-2 count. Vinny ready to deal. The 0-2 pitch. And the ball's off the fence line, and Leon will stay put as Vinny rolls off to cover, and the count is 1-2. And the ball is up, and the count goes even to 2-2. And a ball cut foul and out of play. So the count holds at 2-2. And back to Vinny. They'll hold the runner at third, and Leon will stay put, and Vinny will make the play. So one out on the books for Blake Barberena, and runners at second and third. And Vinny, good movement there, good looking pitch. And he'll work ahead at 0-1 on Barberena with one out. Prospects have brought two over here in the bottom frame with Leon and Walters on base. And a ball just missing. And the count goes even to 1-1. And Barberena cuts it foul right into his leg. And Blake will take a second there. It looks like he's grabbing the right side of his calf and the low part of the leg. So a stinger there. And the count is 1-2 as Barberena will step back in. And strike at the plate, and that'll do it. Barberena will have a seat called at the plate from our head umpire, Will. And 2 outs on the books. So Brody Taylor will step in as he's got Walters at second and Leon at third. And Vinny Camarillo and the Blackdogs working with 2 outs. Fastball up, the count's 1-0. And a good stop behind the plate as Mendez keeps that out in front. And the count goes to 2-0. Taylor pulls it foul to the prospect's dugout. And everybody behind the fences and protected there. And the count goes to 2-1 on Taylor. And Mendez keeping that out in front low on the zone, and the play call is a ball. The count goes to 3-1. Hitter's count here for Brody Taylor. And Taylor takes a cut, fouled off into the glove of Mendez, and the count goes full at 3-2 with 2 outs, and runners will be on the move here on the 3-2 pitch. And ball 4 just missing inside, and Taylor not biting there will get on board with a walk, and that'll bring up Jimmy Stout. So the prospects here knocking on the door with another bases loaded scenario here in the second frame. They've brought 2 over thus far, and it's a 5-1 affair.
Come on, Jimbo.
And the ball is out. The count is 1-0. And Stout lays off. It's a 2-0 count. Jimmy Stout. Big cut there, fouling out of play as Devin Gonzalez rolls off the first base side, but no option for him there, and the count goes to 2-1 to Jimmy Stout. So Stout just looking to try to square one up. Vinny and company trying to get out of this. And a strike on the inside. Good looking pitch as Camarillo comes in on Stout, and he'll even things up here with a 2-2 count. 2 outs, bottom of the second. 2s across the board. And hit by pitch. Camarillo would like to have that back, and Jimmy gets tagged the hard way, 90 feet down to first, and Leon will come over. So on the hit by pitch, Stout ends up at first, and Leon will come over. It's 6-1, and a visit out to the bump from Coach Richard. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, we're ready to go, and Charlie Blaylock will step in as Brandon Dalio will take over on the hill. And Blaylock with a knock there to the left side, and here comes one in Walters, and hard around the corner into third, and Brody Taylor pulls up a little bit and grabs his backside of his hamstring there, and hopefully he's okay. You could see him pull up a little bit. And Charlie Blaylock gets on board with a single and 2 across. Runs 7 and 8 will come over for Daniel Badar. So Carlos Avila wants to talk to D and make sure they get things correct here on any sort of offensive strategy, with Jimmy Stout over at second and Charlie, as I mentioned, over on the first base side. Hopefully Brody Taylor's fine, as I mentioned, and he came in home there just the last couple of steps. Grabbed the backside of his leg there. We'll check in on that and get you an update. Dalio takes a look, pitch on the way. And D looks at a strike, the count's 0-1. Braden looking for the call there, shakes off one and ready to go from the stretch here. And Badar takes a cut foul. And the count is 0-2 to D as he steps back in. Time called, Badar steps out. And Badar, that ball, solid hit. And Badar gets a knock into center field. And the problem there, they're going to tie up the runner. And now he's going to have to get down. They'll go back now. And he can't go back. They get the out. So Charlie Blaylock got Jimmy Stout into a jam there. I don't think he had any intentions of doing that, but Badar gets the stroke, but the out's called on the runner. We'll turn the side over. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, once again, back to live action. We welcome you here. The 2025 Perfect Games Cinco de Mayo Tournament. 12 teams here in Southern California and invited to play here at the ZT Parks, and formerly the Yard, as the facility and complex getting a full makeover as the ZT Baseball organization putting back into the community here in Fullerton. And to learn more about ZT Baseball, go to the ZT Baseball Club page. you're ever out here in Southern California playing in a tournament, whether at the Great Park or any destination, and if you're in Orange County, stop by the ZT Academy, a great location to train, close to Anaheim, and right next to the Angel Stadium area. And you can book some times if you're looking for a tunnel and places to get your kids prepped for any sort of tournament or just working out here in Southern California. So Victorio sends it down. Moeller stays on the hill. And we are ready to go here. So Ezra will step in to start things off. 12-1-2 here in the top of the third. And Moeller, a big cut at the plate for Ezra. And the count is 0-1. And a ball out. The count goes to 1-1. And Holzmeyer takes a cut and fouls it back. The count is 1-2. And Moeller, curveball. Strike three called there as Ezra takes a look. Thought it might have been out. And gets the outer part of the plate for the strikeout. So back to the top for the Blackdogs. Jaden steps in. Jaden's last at bat, solo home run to start the game off. Moeller threw him a fastball and he went deep. And looking over to the dugout as Jaden steps in. And good pitch there, curve locating, the count's 0-1. And that gets away on the outside, and Nateo looking at Moeller as if there was something crossed up there. Coach Eric Ortiz from the dugout making a couple of comments as perhaps the pitch call was incorrect. And in that case, a 1-1 count. And Moeller just missing out as Jaden lays off. And the count goes to 2-1. And a ball upstairs, fastball. The count goes to 3-1. And ball four. Gallegos gets on with a walk. And Esparza will step in with one out. So Gallegos over on first. And a lefty-lefty matchup here. Easton O'Quinn over on the first base side now, holding on the runner. A long look, pitch on the way, curveball just missing. And the count goes to 1-0. Jordan Leon over at third, and Manavong at short, Barbarena at second. And then Blaylock shifted to the left field side. The rest stays the same, other than O'Quinn at first. Pitch on the way. Fastball up, the count goes to 2-0. So Esparza looks at a 2-0 count, and Coach Carlos out to the mound to talk to Moeller. And we'll take a moment here as the prospects leading this 1-8-1, the top of the third. We'll be right back. And a throw back over to the first base side, and Gallegos gets back in as O'Quinn slaps the tag on. And Esparza steps in the box. We're ready to go here. The 2-0 pitch, bunt shown, and good looking pitch outside, and with the bunt presented, the ball called, and the count's 3-0. And ball 4, so Moeller thought he had possibly a strike on the pitch before, and runners at first and second now with 1 out, and Lee will step in. And a strike outside. Moeller will work ahead, and the count is 0-1. Manavong communicating with Moeller, with Gallegos over at second. And a tag is on, and the out played there. Mason Moeller with a quick move, and Chris, the infield umpire, was all over it with an excellent back pick there. So Gallegos will step off, and picked off there. So Moeller with a good move, and the count is 0-1 for Lee. So 2 outs now, runner at first in Esparza, and a strike called outside. So the 0-2 count here on the batter Lee, with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd frame. Runner goes. No play down to second for Victorio as the ball bounced at the plate, and Nateo just keeping that out in front. The count goes to a ball and 2 strikes on Lee. So Esparza moves up 90 feet. So time called at the plate last second, and Moeller will be no pitch there, as Will, our head umpire, grants it. It's not required. Sometimes a batter will step out, the pitch will be thrown, and a strike called, but in this case, he granted it. We're ready to go here. The 1-2 pitch. Manavong, routine play across the deck. 6-3 put out. The prospects will do it. They leave 1 on, and we'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. Stay with us. They'll get on the offensive side. You're enjoying Championship Sunday, the 2025 Perfect Game Cinco de Mayo tournament here at ZT Parks. And DeLeo starts out with a strike. And a ball's pulled foul to the left side. So Manavong with an 0-2 count here in the bottom of the third. And Manavong cuts it foul to the right side and out of play. And deep to center field. Center fielder backing up. Good range there and a good grab. So pulled in for Zach Esparza. And a hard hit for Manavong. But deep to center for the out. One down. And a substitution here, 33 for 22. That'll be Cameron Walters for Tristan Brown. And Walters will step in and swing it for the prospects here in the bottom of the third.
Come on, Cam.
And a ball missing out. The count's 1-0. And a good pitch there, and the count is 1-1. As DeLeo paints the black there. As Walters takes a look, the 1-1 pitch forthcoming. And chopped foul, the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Walters, second baseman, and Cameron kind of jammed in low on the barrel there, and a flare to the second baseman. That'll bring the second out up, and Jordan Leon will step in. So back to the top of the order for the prospects with 2 outs, as Brandon DeLeo and the Blackdogs looking to get out of this one quickly. Leon on the other side like to extend it here for his guys. Pitch on the way. And a ball misses. The count's 1-0. And looked like a changeup there with some movement, and the strike called. The count goes to 1-1. And a ball up, 2-1 count to Leon. And a ball just missing low. The count goes to 3-1 to Jordan Leon. Headed towards the 5 p.m. hour this Sunday, 4:45, getting close to it. Leon, hard hit ball. That gets through on the third base side, so a solid barrel there for Jordan Leon, and finds himself on board with a single. And stepping in, Mateo Victorio. 2 outs, with Leon over on first with good speed, and Gonzalez will hold him on as DeLeo works from the stretch. Pitch on the way. Ball is out. The count's 1-0. DeLeo comes inside and Victorio lays off. The count goes to 2-0. And a strike outside. So a 2-1 count. Throw back over to first. Gonzalez puts the tag on and Leon gets back safely. And as Leon's over on third and Gonzalez holding Victorio on over on the first base side. And De Leon will work with a strike ahead here at 0-1. And a ball out in front, just gets away, but opportunity for Victorio to move up 90 feet, and the count is 1-1. And they're going to run for Victorio. Henry Kunsteller will come in and run for Victorio. Henry and Moeller, both POs primarily, played in Vegas with the club. They played in a tournament a couple weeks back and ended up taking a NIT in Vegas, and they were at an opportunity to hit, and both did quite well. Henry primarily a pitcher here. The 1-1 pitch. And strike called there, so Quinn lays off, and DeLeo with a ball and 2 strikes on him.
Come on, Easton. Come on, big country, let's go.
And on board, so Quinn gets on board, hit by pitch, and that'll bring up Blake Barbarena, and the bases are loaded again here for the Prospects with 2 outs. And Barbarena looks at a ball. The count's 1-0. And a ball up, a 2-0 count to Barbarena. Barbarena, right side, first baseman should have a play there and down the line quickly, but able to make the play Gonzalez. He'll take care of it, and the Prospects will head to the 4th. It's an 8-1 game. We'll be right back. So the four hitter. Less, they're all good. They're all good over there. And Moeller. And ball four. So one, two count. And fastball through Moeller. It's been a kind of an unusual weekend here weather-wise in California. It's been pretty good. A little bit of moisture yesterday, but keep that off today. Just cooler temperatures. Moeller upstairs again with the fastball. The count's 2-0. So Moeller working hard, grinding here today. As I mentioned before, typically Moeller's command is a little bit sharper, but he's getting through it just fine. And the ball's low, and runner's coming. There's no coverage there. And to third, and no play there. So some sloppy play here from the prospects. And now another opportunity as one comes over. So a 3-0 count at the plate. And the Blackdogs pick up their second run with a runner at third and one out. Bunt showed and strike call. So Moeller locates the zone and Burns pulls back, and Moeller gets it through. The count's 3-1. And ball four. And time is called, and that might be it for Mason Moeller. And they're going to bring everybody in. Coach Ortiz shaking his head there, and uncanny performance here nonetheless. The prospects, and they're going to hand it over, and Moeller will step off. So Moeller did a good job through the majority of his work here today, but again, in spirit of talking about a lot of non-first pitch strikes and a number of walks given up, but nonetheless an outstanding pitcher for the prospects. So they'll shuffle. Well, back to live action. And the count is 0-1. And a ball just missing low. The count goes to 2-1. Things up here with a 2-2 count. ball just missing out for Brown, and the count goes full at 3-2. And the ball's chopped foul at the plate. So 1 out, as time has been exhausted here on the game. So the prospects really looking just to get out of the inning as the home team, and being that time's expired, as the Blackdogs continuing to work away here.
Good job, Derek.
And a good pitch outside. Tristan Brown dealing here, and the count is 1-2. So Tristan with a 1-2 count here. For Tristan Brown on Malik, with runners at first and second. And Tristan, good location, runs inside, and the count is 0-2. And just missing out, and a ball and 2 strikes on the batter Malik, with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. And strike 3 called. So Tristan Brown and the prospects.
Good job, ZT.
Game number 2, the semifinals coming up next. We'll bring it to you live here. Chris Aller with a call, the 2025 Perfect Game Cinco de Mayo tournament. We will be back, but this one's in the